Hello, welcome to How to Play D&D, the explainer podcast where one experienced dungeon master and one failed scriptwriter discuss D&D topics. My name is Kinsey and my ridiculously inadequate pod partner is McCaffery. I scared you there, didn't I?
Yeah, you said it very loud. Just clenched my arsehole in response.
Yeah, that's what we like to keep you on your toes. Keep that sphincter tight.
I mean, I'm always
Taut.
tight.
Taut.
I'm always taut.
Oh, I'm taunting right now.
Oh.
How's your week been?
It's not been too bad, yeah. I mean, it's only Wednesday, but I feel like it needs to be Friday. Why are you laughing?
Defeated, because your beard's getting blacker.
Yeah.
We've recorded 3 episodes in 2 days, and it genuinely looked like he's been defeated. Like every day, he's lost another kid to another wife. He's a weekend dad now.
I mean,
full time.
Why not? I'm always a weekend dad.
The trick I think is like if you've got 2 kids from 2 different mums and you're the weekend dad. Do them on alternative weekends.
What do you mean do them?
That way you've got a busy. That's why you've got a busy weekend. You know, you've always got something planned because you got Sharon to look after on Saturday and Sunday. You got Dave next weekend. Occupy your time. Make it look like...
Who names their kids Sharon and Dave? If you've got kids called Sharon and Dave,
nan.
what are you doing?
My nan.
Yeah, that's alright. It's your nan. It's an older name.
What? No, my nan's name is not Nan. My nan named her kids Sharon and Dave.
Yeah, I assume not yesterday. Like, however many years ago, it's fine. But nowadays, if
she's
you
actually in
name
the
kids...
delivery room right now, giving birth at her ripe old age. Dead.
Well, fuck me, I guess.
Trigger warnings. Trigger warning. Trademark. Well, you could say giving birth as a reaction.
Ow!
And doing the deed's the action.
Oh, okay.
If that's a little hint to what they...
Which has the bonus then? You got action reaction.
The foreplay beforehand.
Alright.
Well, that's enough about my nan. Let's get to it. Okay, so today's episode is on actions. We all take actions sometimes. Sometimes it's a bonus, and other times it's a reaction. For example, Lewis. If I decide to quit my job, that's me taking action. If I neck a bottle of wine before I go into my job, that's my bonus action. And if I decide to see my kids only on weekends, that's a reaction to Cindy marrying Jeff. What am I doing?
Well, what you should do is use your reaction to Cindy marrying Jeff.
Yeah.
Find Jeff.
Fuck Jeff.
Beat the shit out of him as your action. Make sure you're level 20 so you get like 18 attacks or however many you want. And then you use your bonus action to spit on his face. And then
after he's dead,
bloodied and pulped on the ground, use your free action to cry and walk away.
Oh my god, alright. I mean, I was just going to like call in a bomb scare on his house or something. Like, I think mine's way less violent than yours. Alright, well, anyway.
Mean, that's why we play D&D.
Yeah, you're scary.
To live out our fantasies.
You're scary, boy. Okay, question 1. Can you summarise the difference between an action, bonus action, and reaction?
Yes, I can.
All right.
Yep. All right. I don't know how many times we're going to make that joke, but
it's a reaction every time, really.
I see.
I just naturally do it.
Exactly. Well, so an action, that's your main thing in combat. If you think of combat from the start to finish, or at least start of the round to the finish of the round, or end of the round, it's 6 seconds. So the bulk of that is your action. That's what you're spending the most time on, the most effort. That's why if you swing an axe, for example, like picture how long in real life it takes you to swing an axe. Couple of seconds, you hit them. So that's your main part. The bonus action are think of it as a little baby action. Little baby.
That's cute.
Thank you.
I wish I could see mine. Cindy!
Damn it, Cindy! But yeah, so that's literally like your support to yourself, if that makes sense. It could be, I don't even know. My mind's going blank now. It could be drinking a healing potion. It could be, I don't know. I can't think of bonus actions now. My mind's gone blank. It could be any spell that's a bonus action, things like that. Those are the kind of it could be a build up to something. It could be a support. They're like the baby action. And did you say reaction?
I have said reaction, yeah.
Thank you. Reaction is a response to someone else's turn. So, for example, if someone moves out of your range in combat, then you get an attack of opportunity as a reaction. Some spells like shield you can cast in reaction. It's the response to something specific. So if someone walks away, if someone targets you with a spell or an attack, something like that.
Yeah, counterspell that bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, the next question is, do DMs have to stick to rules when stating what requires an action? So an example of that is, until now, and I know that's changing in the new player's handbook, but drinking a potion is an action.
Yeah.
But now it is a bonus action from September. But we, and I think most of the community, actually do just
treat it as a bonus action.
Treat it as a bonus action, healing, because you don't actually get enough out of healing.
No, exactly.
To warrant, like, you just lose the turn of
for
doing anything.
2d4 plus 2.
Exactly. Are there any other... Like, I don't really need examples, but do we have to stick to rules?
No, definitely not. I mean, it's like we say with pretty much most topics in the podcast, that it's really up to your DM's discretion. So it can be whatever you want an action to be, just kind of thing. If you want to expand the rules or add something else as a bonus action, for example, instead of an action, speak to your DM. If it's not bullshit, then most DMs will probably allow it, because there's nothing wrong with... In my eyes, there's nothing wrong with allowing your players to kind of experiment a bit and having a bit more freedom to do some cool shit, basically.
Yeah, combat is the worst in D&D. And we, for example, our last session we had is like a big session for you guys in the Black Shores campaign, and you kind of, you split up as a group. You're trying to take down archers to allow this army to get through to like the main area of a fort, and you were using strength checks to kind of like battle it out with archers to like pin them to the ground. If you failed those, then they would kind of like knock you off or knock you down.
Yeah.
And then the players around that one player who had the strength check could react by trying to stop that situation. Someone being thrown off a wall and so that's not the way combat works in D&D, but it meant the speed of play was fast, there was good pace. And also, it felt more realistic that you weren't taking turns. If someone's going to be thrown off a wall who's in my party, I'm probably going to react pretty quick to try and stop that if I can. And so it made sense that there was a reaction there, regardless of whether their class allows that.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely ways you can spice it up a bit. And you could, even if you're not sure of what to do, especially for newer DMs, you can just kind of take the existing rules. For example, you've just said trying to pin them to the ground. You could take it as a grapple check, for example, and then instead of just saying you successfully grappled right onto the next person in combat, just see while they've grappled, is there anything what you want to do? Do you want to try and pick them up? Do you want someone else to pick you both up? It's just using your imagination, which obviously everyone does in D&D. So
and not quite often the rules are a guideline, and so they're not there to be spicy. They're there to kind of take and spice up if you need to. They're there to give you a base layer, and as we know, combat is slow, so it makes sense that if there's ways of changing that and enabling more fun to be had without it being silly and kind of unambitious for the DM, then so be it, I think.
I think just the most important thing to note when you are experimenting a bit and you're asking your DM to allow you to do things, don't take the piss with it.
Do it in reason.
Yeah, if you're going to say, can I cast Fireball as a bonus action and an action, then your DM needs to kill your character.
We literally have a whiteboard here for our campaign, behind the camera, and it literally has a bullshittery box for people who do our stuff like that.
And you know what? Can you guess what we're up to? How many sessions have we done now? We've done 22 sessions.
22, and there's 24 bullshitteries, which I'm pretty sure there's probably more than that.
Probably.
It's just the ones you remember to write down.
I mean, half of them were Morgan, so...
It's true. Question 3. Is there a fourth type of action?
Type of action?
Yes.
In terms of action, bonus action, reaction?
Yeah. Well, yeah, if they're the 3.
I feel like there will be.
There's a legendary action.
Oh!
What does a legendary action do?
So, legendary actions, they can be... Most of the time, you'll find these with either specific powerful armor sets or weapons, magic items, that kind of thing.
Enemies.
Or bosses.
Big enemies.
So legendary actions can, if I'm correct in this, can often be triggered whenever the creature wants. Let's say if it's within their turn and they have a legendary action to attack again, for example, then they might have used their action and bonus action, but they're going to use their legendary one to attack again, and they can range from anything from attacking again to doing a crap ton of damage, healing a lot, teleporting. It can be anything that's legendary.
It kind of... I mean, I haven't Googled this to summarise it, which we should as soon as we're explaining the podcast, but the essentially, for when I've used legendary actions for stat blocks against you guys and whatnot, legendary actions are literally all of the other three. It's just literally what they have the ability to do. So that could be a reaction, it could be a bonus or an action, and it just allows them to do another thing.
Exactly, yeah. There are so many examples online as well for all creatures that have them, but you can always make your own up. If you're homebrewing a monster, for example, then think about what kind of creature that is. Is it a lightning-based creature? Does it just radiant damage, that kind of thing? And you can always add some kind of AoE effect or some kind of special ultimate attack or something to do more damage specific to its damage type.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, there are options.
Okay, what can we do with our actions? Do different classes have different rules? So this is quite a longer question.
Okay,
now.
So I'll go for the first one first. So in terms of what you can do with your action, we'll start with the action first. So number one, everyone knows, is the attack action. But one thing I've noticed a lot of new players that we've experienced get confused with is, let's say you're a fighter, you get to level 5. You don't then get 2 actions per turn. You only get 1 action per turn for the entirety, unless you action surge or something like that. But what it does when you're level 5 and you're attacking, it just means your attacks are quicker, they're more effective, you're better as a fighter, so you can attack twice in 1 action.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, we've encountered a lot of players that have been confused with that. But what you can do other than attacking, which again, a lot of players seem to forget about, there's the prepare action, which will give you advantage on your next attack because you're spending the next 6 seconds like bracing yourself. There's the dodge, which gives enemies disadvantage on their next attack against you. There's hide. I mentioned more the other day, and I can't remember some. Do you know any off the top of your head?
Jump. It's jump in action. I'm pretty sure it's.
It might be actually.
I might be wrong.
Bonus action.
We're teaching you wrong.
We
sorry.
are. So
we're a guide, like the player's handbook. Don't trust us. Just give us $70.
Please. I need to see my kids this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's general terms.
That's the
of
base.
action.
I mean, most of those people won't use those
exactly
as a beginner.
It's just good to know that there are options of things you want to do if you don't want to attack. Because I've seen so many players say, "I don't want to attack this turn. I'm just going to sit it out." Don't do that. Take the dodge action.
So, for example, the fighter will still have the same amount of actions, but will be able to do more within its action. What's the difference between, say, for instance, a fighter and a wizard then? So what the wizard, can it cast 2 spells in its turn?
So I'm pretty sure under standard rules, no. However, the way we've ran it is if one spell's an action and one's a bonus action, go for it.
Yeah,
but you can't then do 2 actions unless you've got the haste spell.
Okay, yeah.
But for example, a wizard will take time for a wizard to cast a spell, so take a few seconds. That's why at level 5 you can't then cast 2 spells, whereas a fighter or a barbarian, if you think about it logically, the more you use your weapon, the stronger your character will get, the more used to fighting you'll get. That's why at certain levels, like level 5 and level 12 or whatever it is, or 11, that's why at those levels you get an extra attack in your action.
You got to think about it that with a melee kind of based fighter, like a what's it called? I've lost the term. It doesn't matter. A melee based fighter is going to be able to do more within its action because it's leveling up, it's trained, it's experienced, it understands the weight of the weapon, But the difference to that is it doesn't have anything that can increase in terms of damage. So what does make sense is that wizard might not be able to do more on its turn, but it opens up as it levels up to more spells. And so that's how they counter each other. And
Exactly.
just to summarise that question with different classes and different rules, like that comparison, it's a bit of rock, paper, scissors on a much grander scale where
Yeah.
every class will have its thing, and that kind of counters another class in some way.
Yeah. Exactly. And just going off on that second question as well, are there kind of some actions and bonus actions, that kind of thing, that other classes can and can't take? First one comes to mind, the rogue. At a certain level, it's like 3 or something, or maybe 2. You can hide and dodge, and dash. That's the action, dash. Double your movement speed. But yeah,
a really common one as well. We both just like blind.
I'm so sorry. We
Me
failed
as well,
you,
me as
listener. So they can do those as a bonus action, and the idea being they're obviously a bit more nimble, a bit quicker, so they can hide or dash as a bonus action.
Okay.
But there are ones like that. There's always, each class will always have something that they can do that another class can't.
Yeah, and that makes sense, because then that way people aren't all just playing the same class.
Exactly.
And it means you work together, because you've all got strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly.
Okay, well, yeah, I think that was a good summary for a session. I hope. Let us know in any way you can. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Just
carry a pigeon.
Respond to me, Cindy. I want to see my kids, Sharon and Dave. Okay.
I'm not even going to say anything.
No. All right, today's adventure has sadly come to a close, but we're back again next week with a topic. How much will it cost for you to tie my shoelaces together?
50 pence.
That's more than I expected. I'm fucked. And as always, thank you for tuning in. If you like joining on the D&D action, then please follow us on Instagram and TikTok at How to Play D&D, or check out the link in our bio to join our Discord server. I've been Connor Kinsey.
I've been Lewis McCaffery.
Good day.
Goodbye.